Hello guys. Are we live? I think we are live. Check it out. Ja, ik ben net live gegaan, maar ik ga trainen en testen.
Ik wilde eigenlijk...
Wacht even. Okay, what's up? I'm live. Sorry, some family business. So today's live. It's a live stream, right? I have some stuff to do on the indoor trainer with my power meters. I have a couple tests to do to compare my power meters with each other, so I know what power is like the power on one power meter if it correlates to the other power meter, which is very important for your training. So I'm just gonna do that while I'm live streaming, so you guys can see what I'm doing, and then I will do a training session, which is the first of my new training program. I've done some Insight. Insight is a company that has developed a certain testing protocol. So together with my coach Leon from Aeroad, we have done some testing last week according to this Insight protocol, and this gave us some very nice detailed information about my power and about my energy systems, and that's what's very important. Everybody always thinks that whatever your FTP is will give you enough information to train, but that's actually not true, because it's all dependent on VO2 Max and VLA Max. I'm gonna tell more about that in this live stream. So if you're interested about this topic, if you want to see more about if you want to hear more about VO2 Max, VLA Max, and how this correlates, stay watching. Watch this live stream. I can already imagine like that your first question is VLA Max. I've never heard of it. What the heck is that? I will tell you. So let me show you what I've done. I am doing this workout. I want to show you right now, but I need to clear it. Anyway, I'm opening the file. Let me go to the side so you can actually see it. I created a file. I called it power meter comparison. So I'm gonna start with 10 minutes warm up to get all the power meters warmed up. And then I'm gonna do two tests. So I'm gonna go for 1 minute 300 watts, 1 minute 400 watts, 1 minute 450, and 30 seconds on 500. And then I'm gonna switch to the other power meter I have on the bike. So I've got my Assioma power pedals and I've got my Pioneer power cranks. And I'm gonna run the same test. So now I've got three sources of information. I've got the kicker, my indoor trainer, which is deciding the power during the test. And then I can compare it in the first one with the power pedals, and in the second one with my Pioneer, so I know how they relate to each other. And that's very interesting, because now I know if I, for example, have to do a certain effort at 300 watts, is this 300 watts on my kicker, or is it 300 watts on my Pioneer power meter, or should I change those values a little bit to actually push the same power? So that's what I'm gonna do now. It is dual-sided, yes. And then I'm gonna do my actual training. So I'm doing this in ERG mode, of course, because I want the kicker to decide the power. I'm gonna do it in London on the flat route because I want to ride flat. And then I say ride. Also, I try to keep my cadence fairly the same. So let's say I'm sticking to 85 cadence. So just to try to manage the variables in this test. I do agree it's not super scientific, but that's really not what I'm trying to accomplish here. I'm just trying to get an idea of my situation, of my power meters. And I think you should do the same if you are serious about your training. And if you want to know exactly what you're doing and you have multiple power meters, we all know they never tell you the same, all right? So that's very important. There's two important things of a power meter. The first one is the accuracy, and the second one is the, what's the name again? The accuracy and the consistency. So right now I'm gonna check the accuracy between my different power meters. So I'm starting with the asiomas, firing them up and doing a 0. So it needs to be zeroed, of course. So calibrate through the head unit, and I know it's calibrated correctly. Okay, torque offset 0, so that's correct. Just get this bike nice and straight. I hope you guys can all see me. The audio is good, yes? You can all hear me fine? Then I'm gonna sit on the computer and start pedaling. Yeah man, the weather outside at the moment in the Netherlands is kind of crap. So I was not really looking forward to go inside anyways. So I figured, okay, I'm gonna do this now. I was not really planning on doing this live stream at all, but I figured while I'm doing this whole training. So let me start this one. So I'm a couple seconds behind, but that's okay. So while I'm doing this test, I figured I can do the live stream and show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm in ergometer mode. I need to get started, and then it's gonna put me into riding. Let me get a gear that's nice and straight. You see an ergometer or niet? It doesn't look like he's an ergometer. At the moment, not important yet. This is just a warm-up. Okay, I think it works. So, catching on the comments, I have a dual-sided power meter. Yes, so the assioma power panels are both sided, and also the crankset is both sided. So interesting is, of course I can see my power on my head unit, and I can see the power on my computer. And this way I can already tell if it's close or not. Like if there's any difference. I will do another calibration in a few minutes, just to make sure that's all okay. And also I have to turn on the ventilator because I forgot that. So as my power is 215 on the kicker through Zwift, which is managed by the program, currently looking down to my power on my assiomas, and it's about 200. Okay, so there's already a difference. $15 watts on 200 watts, that's already 7.5%. Okay, it's fluctuating a little bit. My 3-second power will say 200, 205, 206. Obviously there's slight fluctuations in the kicker because it's adjusting the whole time. Going to turn on the fan real quick. So what you see on my screen in Zwift is actually instant power, and what I have here is instant and 3-second power. So what difference are you seeing so far? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Tom Cycle says, nice new FTP. Yeah, that's from my previous live stream. I did a race last week where the race pace is so incredibly fast that I decided to just do a 20-minute test on the first 20 minutes of the race. And I did 20 minutes at 384 watts. So then Zwift said, well, your FTP is 365, which is not correct. Zwift, why is it not going into ergometer? Zwift always likes to overestimate your power by taking 95% of your 20-minute power, which for most people is probably not correct, right? You can debate that, you can disagree, that's fine. For myself, 95% is probably a better margin or percentage, with a very simple explanation as that I'm very anaerobic. I will also explain that later. Anyway, whatever Zwift says about your FTP, don't always take that as the truth. Better don't race Zwift races with the power pedals, that's for sure, because they read low. But this might change, eh? Maybe they read low now and read high when I push more power. I don't know yet. Zwift uses 95% of your 20-minute power to calculate your FTP. My chat box not on the screen. I'll fix that when I get off the bike, which will be now because I don't have any time left. Just fixing the screen real fast. which it can be very easy. This is the stupid thing, I have to do this every time, which makes it a lot of work to just set up a lot, well not a lot, but it makes it extra work just to set up a live stream. Here we go, now it's here. And also what you just saw is when you just subscribe, you'll get like this funny thing going on over there with your name on it, so that's pretty cool. Here we go. Alright, so if you have questions about what I'm doing, come on. Please watch the beginning of this live stream because I'm explaining what I'm doing, and a lot of that should already be answered. There's some basic info in my description. Yeah, 96% of 20-minute power, that's very, very high. Ruben, it's possible. Maybe you're a very aerobic person. Arne, I'll come to your question about VLA Max after I've done this test. Okay, so I'm gonna focus on the test now. It's not a test, it's more a comparison. So 300 watts. Currently I'm at about 285, 295. Trying to keep my cadence very steady. About 280, so that's 20 watt difference. It's very big, huh? Very, very big. Not too happy about that. Let me try and calibrate this one more time. And for the record, now it's going into 1 minute already. I don't want that, so I need to go back. How do I do that? Oh shit. Go back. Can I do that? I cannot. Oh. This is great news, guys. Great news. How do I change this? Can I jump back into my session? You cannot go back. Okay, I'm just gonna skip it because I don't want to restart the entire training. I'll just do it another time. So now every time it's go to the next. Okay, nice. Well, this is what happens when you do some stuff. You check it out, you try it out. It's not like I practice this or anything. Next one is 450. That's okay. If I have 450, that's my VLA Max zone. I really want to know that. Okay, here we go. VLA Max. I wait till the resistance is on. Okay. Now I press lap. $450. All right. So exactly 450 on my lap watts right now. That's a good sign. $450. 448. Nice. Okay, perfect. So at 450 watts, the kicker is exactly the same as the asiomas. That's good. No, the smart trainer doesn't have a calibration function. The kicker, it doesn't. Or does it? I don't think it does. Just like the Tax Neo doesn't have a calibration. I think it calibrates itself or whatever. Zeg eens iets in het Nederlands. Is the cadence the same also? What do you mean? It has a spin down calibration. I thought this was only on the Tax Flux. Alright. If this is true, I'll have to restart the whole thing. I'll go to the app. Yeah, I know it has a calibration. I did that like when I first got on the trainer. I remember now. Sorry guys, I did calibrate it, but that's only like the first time. So yes, I can do another calibration for the haters, but I don't know how. In-game menu, companion app. But there should be a spin down function in the WAHOO thing, right? Ah, spin down. Okay. Perform spin down. Slowly accelerate to 36 kilometers an hour. Thank you guys. Then stop pedaling and let the kicker goes down until the spin down completes. So that's what I'm doing now. I'll have to restart my test. That sucks, but I'm not sure if it's doing it correctly. This is great. So I should have done this before, I'm sorry. So the Neo doesn't have it, but this one does. I did this when I got it out of the box. Take it off ergometer mode. No, I'm just doing it in the WAHOO app, but it's not doing it. Restarting. I did not gain a few pounds. I'm actually losing weight. Well, I'm staying sort of similar. So spin down. Now it doesn't do anything. What? Come on. Okay, so this is real world problems, right? Trying to do something and it doesn't work. Because now my kicker is not connected anymore. Lovely. Disconnect Swift. Okay. Or do calibration in Swift. Okay. I'll do the calibration in Swift. Which you can see. Because if I do it on the phone, you can't see. Menu. Garage? No. Settings? No. Pair. And then there's a toolbox. No signal. It's crazy. D. And then, so where is this toolbox? Here. Perform a calibration spin down. Weekly to ensure ergonomic trainer. Okay, next. Accelerate. Calibration complete! No, I didn't calibrate anything. Come on. Okay. Failed. What? Come on. You're making my life harder right now. Next. Okay, here we go. Calibration. 36, stop pedaling. I'm doing nothing. So I want to restart that test when I get back into it. This is a WAHOO, yes. Okay, awesome. Alright, okay. Menu, stop. And then can I restart this workout? No. Yes. Nice. Okay, great. Okay, so everything is calibrated. Yeah. Everything is calibrated. Play. Now I'm gonna skip okay, I'm gonna restart the test. 300 watts. See how it works out. About 90 RPM. Hitting start. Okay, forgot to start my head unit, doesn't matter. $295. Hey, this is different. 3-second power, 298, 293, 294. Very close. All right. So we can already see that that calibration actually made a difference. So thank you for mentioning that. And now they were very close. So it was 295, 296 compared to 300. Next stop is 400. Pressing the lab button. It says 390. $390. But I see 390 on the screen as well. So $390. Now I'm not sure if it matters in what gear you are on the kicker if you're in ergometer mode. So, for example, when I use a very high gear, the kicker will be turning a lot faster. So it has less resistance and more speed to give you the same power, but it might be different internal. Yeah, I should do that with the DC Rainmaker tool. Ah man, I should, but I don't know how it works. I'll just compare it by hand. It's easy enough. So if one power meter is reading high or low, we still don't know which is correct, but at least we have a reference, and that's what's important. I'm in the small ring. Wait until the power kicks in. Now. And then press lap. Hey. Nothing is fout. Lost connection or something. For 42, average 30 seconds is 4:45. So that's very close. I've had my Garmin next to my Wahoo. It doesn't matter when it comes to the power. It depends on the power meter, what the power meter is sending. That's what matters. Big ring is better on the kicker. High flywheel speed. That's what I meant. So I should do everything all over again, or crap. Let me get into the big ring then. Big ring. It will probably be more consistent. Alright. I now notice that my chat box is in front of the test protocol, but if you want to see it, I show it in the beginning of the live stream. Now we're doing 500 watts for 30 seconds. Wait until the power kicks in. Here we go. $500, $495, $505, $500, $495. It was very difficult to see. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to my other power meter. So I'm turning off the assioma. I say forget. Yes. And I'm gonna add another sensor. Oh, wacht even. Oh nee. Oh. Okay. Here we go. third world problem. I had the Pioneer power sensor connected with the computer the whole time. So now I don't know if the power you just saw was from my Pioneer or from the Asiomas. Maybe I can see it in my trainer today's plan file. This is so stupid, huh? I never do this, and I figured I'm just gonna do it quickly. So I know, so I have some information, and now it's already taking me way too long. Power. How do I see that? So right now, if you're wondering, I'm inside my today's plan, which you guys cannot see, and then I'm trying to figure out if this file that I just produced, if it, on what Powermeter it is based. So I think you should be able to see that, but at the moment I cannot find it that quick. Account. Power meters. 36 minutes ago, Pioneer power meter. Okay, so it actually went on the Pioneer. Okay. But I did not calibrate that. This is fun. Super fun. This is what you get. Okay. Okay, so the Pioneer, I just tested the Pioneer without calibrating it in the beginning. But let's assume it's right. I'll test the Pioneer another time. Right now I'm just gonna go to my Asiomas, because that's what I'm using outside on the Fuji. So I want to know that. So I'm gonna add them. Save Asiomas, save. And then calibrate. All right, well, gonna do it again. Here we go. So I'm gonna do the test again, now on the Asiomas. You have too many power meters. I'm sorry guys. I've got two bikes, so I've got two power meters and a kicker. I actually have three power meters, but okay, go in ergometer. Here we go. So, assioma. Shouldn't you be at work? Are you talking to me or everybody in the chat? So I have done a assioma pedal comparison with my Neo before, and they were spot on, like 1 in 1. So I'm assuming that they will be pretty accurate. And now I'm doing now that I'm doing it on the kicker, because I trust the kicker, I trust the Neo. I also trust the Pioneer or the Assiomas. The Pioneers, I don't know, I had a lot of issues with those, so they might be off. So we just had the Pioneers, now we're doing the Assiomas. I'm jumping into the 300 watts. $90 lap. Okay, lap watts 310, average power 3-second power 310, 3.7, 313, 315. $320. Okay, so it's overreading, but oh, I wasn't there yet. Crap. You know, it is kind of logical. Sorry, I already thought I was stuck, because the pedals is closer to my legs. From the pedals to the crank, to the chain, to the kicker, there is loss. Your drivetrain is about 10% loss, which is a lot. But if the pedals overread slightly, that would be logical. 400. $410, $415, $410, $409, $410, $412, very steady. That's only 2.5% difference, right? So that's very good. It is higher, so that means what I see is more than what I'm pushing compared to on the kicker. I'll talk about this later. Next one is 500? No, 450. Hey, Dennis! Dennis ordered a Cycling Fanatics jersey. That's awesome, man. Thank you, Dennis. Great to have you in the kit. It is a really, really cool color, so. So everything I'm doing now will actually not be beneficial to my to the training I'm supposed to be doing to lower my VLA Max, which I'll be explaining when I'm done with this test. Philippines, what up? So 15 seconds, I'm doing 450 watts to see how it compares to my assiomas. By the way, I have seen a super chat coming by. I'm sorry I didn't notice it. I didn't mention it, but thank you so much if you've done that. Right now 450 for 1 minute. For 460, 457, 463, 464, 468, 474, 447, 440, 433. Lap, power, 460. That's 10 watts, like the other one. It's actually not off. Okay? The value is actually not off. Because the pedals are closer to my body. Meaning, the Assioma power pedals, they show me 460, when the kicker is telling me 450. Both are correct. Pedals close to my feet, kicker all the way down there. There's a loss, which is maybe even more than that 10 watts, but it's very logical that the power pedals are reading higher than the kicker. All I need to know is how much. Alright? That's why I'm doing this test today. Applying the same pressure left and right doesn't matter because I've got two pedals, both reading power. Okay, 500. Okay, my 3-second power, 507, 518, 526, 511, 496, 530, 537, 545, lap power, 514, same 10 watts. Okay, I'm done with the test. Okay, that's good. So the testing part is done. Now I'm actually going into my training, which I will show you. It is in my in the connection between today's plan and Swift. So my training sessions come from WAHOO, my coach. Today I'm doing this because we have extra information from the inside testing protocol. He says do your efforts at 250 watts. So this says 290, so I need to adjust this. Here we go, boom. So now I've got my training here. I'm going to skip the warm-up because I already did that and then jump in this training session. Now I will explain you guys what VLA Max is and why and what I'm going to do in the next 8 weeks to lower VLA Max and to increase my FTP by doing that. Okay? Quick bite. Lekker snelle jelle erin. Oh. Now that I'm going to do another ride, I might as well connect my Pioneer Powermeter and then just compare it as I'm riding. No. Okay, so now I have Pioneer Power. Calibrate. For some reason the Pioneer power meter is very difficult to calibrate. Really often it just messes up. It doesn't calibrate. You need to try again. Here we go. It's on dual. Het is gewoon beide kanten Powermeter. Hij staat ook ingesteld als 1 unit. Zeg maar. Okay, this thing should go on ERG mode, or not. Why do you hear birds in your house? I've got the window open. ERG. Waarom doet hij het niet? It's reading very slow. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes the signal is a bit slow or it drops out. I don't know why. Now I'm trying to... ERG. Huh? Okay, so we're in ERG mode. Okay. Whew. That's that. Now we can finally start on this training. Okay, very short explanation about FTP. VO2 max and VLA max. Right? FTP is functional threshold power. That's the amount of power you can push for 1 hour. And if you actually can do that, you should be totally wasted, right? You will have two sources of energy to get to that FTP. Aerobic power and anaerobic power. With oxygen, without oxygen. Your aerobic power is basically your VO2 max. How much oxygen can your body uptake from the air? How much does your muscles take from that air to use? VLA max is the amount, V is the speed, lactate, LA, max, maximum. The maximum speed of lactate production. Very high intensity effort are based on your anaerobic system. Anaerobic means without oxygen. If you burn carbohydrates without oxygen, you will get lactate as a byproduct. The faster you can assimilate lactate, the more power you can produce in a very short amount of time. We're talking about 5 to 10 seconds. So a sprinter needs a lot of anaerobic power. A road cyclist in general needs a lot of aerobic power because it's a very long effort. Only a sprint at the end of a race, for example, or a very hard acceleration out of a corner would be anaerobic. Alright? You guys still with me? So we have two energy systems in the body, both producing energy. If you do an FTP test, 20-minute full gas, there's going to be, apart from that, whatever 350 watts that you can produce is going to be aerobic, and a part is anaerobic, right? So your FTP is sort of a combination from VO2 max and VLA max. However, if you have a very high VLA max, a very high production of lactate, you can imagine what happens. You're gonna fill up your legs with lactate and you're gonna stop doing the effort. Okay? So by lowering your VLA max, keeping your VO2 max the same, your FTP will rise. Alright? So if you don't know what your VO2 max is, and if you don't know what your VLA max is, it's very hard to do a specific training to increase your FTP. If you have one set of training, one training session, you give it to two persons, both want to raise their FTP, but one person needs to increase their VLA max, the other one needs to decrease their VLA max. The same training session is going to have totally different results. So, this week I did the inside testing protocol. My trainer and coach Leon from Verkuijl, there's a link in the description to his website. You know, we do this together. We use the inside. And now we know how much lactate I produce on what power. It's crazy. I was surprised. I've never seen this. And this gives very cool information about training. So in my case, what I found is my VO2 max is something like 68, and my VLA Max is a number between 0.1 and 1. Okay, if it's 1, you're a 100% sprinter. You're only using carbohydrates. If it's 0, you're only using fat for energy. My VLA Max was like 0.75 or something, which is very, very high. Okay. And the last 3 years, I've done a lot of training which would lower this VLA Max. So this is crazy, huh? I've done all this training to lower my VLA Max, but it's still 0.75. Meaning I'm super anaerobic still. So how does it come? Maybe because I've done a couple Zwift races and I restarted strength training, both increasing VLA Max. So in the next 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to try to lower VLA Max by doing a specific type of training sessions and not doing the training that will raise VLA Max. So no high intensity, no high cadence, no strength training. Crazy. And it's amazing what potential you can have. If I lower my VLA Max, it's possible that my FTP rises 20-30 watts. Okay. So crappy thing is, I restarted strength training, which I actually wanted to do year round, but my trainer says it's not allowed anymore. I wanted to do a Zwift race every week, but I can't because it's high intensity. So we're going to do a lot of tempo intervals, and we're going to do low cadence to lower that VLA Max. For any normal person, this will completely diminish your sprint power, right? Your high intensity and your acceleration. But for me, because it's already so high, I can actually do this and will still be okay. Why am I doing this right now? Because there's no racing. All right, we're in a time of nothing. Corona is on the entire world. There's no races. We have time to test. I'm going to use this time, which I normally would not have, to test what's happening in my body when I do this type of training. So Felix Play says VLA Max is a good marker indication for triathlon. Yes, very sure. Very low VLA Max means you're very aerobic. You'll be good for long distance. So after this 8 weeks, we're gonna see what the results are, and then we'll try to increase my VO2 max. So now I have a low VLA max, and we'll try to increase VO2 max, which will give another boost, and then we'll do another FTP test, or we'll do the inside test, but it gives us an idea. All right. So now I'm going to do 5 times 10 minutes at 250 watts. So, any questions, type them in the comments and I'll try to explain. I'm not like a super scientist, but this is really what I understand from this whole new metric, which it really is super cool. I am going to report with all the results in the video, so I'm going to make a video about this 8 weeks with the report results of now, what type of training I'm doing, and then how I finished it at the end. So I should actually, normally I go pretty high cadence, right? High cadence is really what I'm good at, what I feel comfortable with. But to lower VLA Max, anything you should not do is ride high cadence, which is crap. So now I need to go lower cadence. I won't go super low because I'm just gonna break down, so I'll take it in steps. So I'll just try to stay within 80, 85. Normally I would be 90, 95, 100, alright? So okay. Great question from James Smith. How do you measure VLA Max at home? Well, the scientific and original method is to take lactate out of your blood. But the INCREASE protocol is a well-developed software algorithm that analyzes your decrease in power over a certain effort, and then everything goes into a black box, and then I have VLA Max. Really cool, but that's too complicated to explain. The old-fashioned way would be to do a 20-second full out sprint and then measure lactate over the course of a couple minutes and see what's your maximum. And then you divide it by the seconds of sprinting, and then you know how much lactate you produced in that amount of time. I have to be honest, I did not do that. But 2 years ago I did do a anaerobic threshold test. I've got a video about that on the channel with lactate, and my maximum at that time was like 15, which was not the maximum lactate test or anything, but it was just after like 45 minutes of going very, very deep. Probably not gonna race now. So I'm catching up with comments. NSA agent wants to know if I'm racing Cam and Chris. That was the original plan, but so my coach says we're still gonna do one intensity effort every week. So maybe I can still do that. Felix Play says, but isn't polarized approach proven successful in the past? Great discussion point. The answer is yes and no. It's proven to have success with very untrained people in a short amount of time. It doesn't work for a pro cyclist or somebody that has been training for a long time. These are fairly simple studies done on non-well-trained cyclists. So it's very difficult to take the correct conclusion out of those studies. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm not gonna go that low, Harry, because I need to go in steps. What I just said, normally I go 95. So now I'm gonna go 80. Don't want to mess up my knees straight away. So I'm gonna do a lot of sessions which are sub-threshold, so tempo and sweet spot. That's what's gonna lower your VLA max, alright? That's what I'm doing in the coming 6 to 8 weeks. Low intensity. AB says natural cadence is natural. Don't try to change what works. I disagree. We're training. We are training with a purpose. Okay? A low cadence will fire up different muscle cells. That's why we do it. Okay? So there's a reason behind it. If you ask me to go all out, 100% sure I'm going to take my own cadence. But training is training. What happens with high intensity training after the experiment? Well, after this we're going to increase VO2 max. So then we'll have more intensity. I really want to know what the effect of my body is. I want to know if I can drop VLA max in a few weeks. I need to know that. Thanks, Luke Jonas. I appreciate your comment. I disagree, Deepon, but it's alright. Because look at what the actual pro cyclists do. They do a lot of what's called that's not a word. Polarized. I agree. However, right now I know my VLA max and I know how to reduce it, so that's why I'm doing sweet spot. It's also why a pro cyclist will have a lower VLA max at the end of the Tour de France than he had in the beginning, which is why he cannot sprint anymore on the Champs-Élysées. So my King's Day, which we now have changed to Woningsdag, sort of like stay at home day. It was nice, we didn't stay at home, we went for a ride with the entire family. You can check my Instagram. I finally got Daisy on the bike. So I got 2 babies on the bike, on the chariot, and Daisy on the bike, so it was fun. ALP wants to know what the best kind of training for overall fitness is. Wow, great question, which is impossible to answer. Because what is overall fitness? Dude, overall fitness on the beach? What? Or overall fitness when you play chess? I would say overall fitness would be strength training and high intensity interval training. So I consider tempo to be, what is that? Like 80% of FTP, roughly. Tempo. Yeah, about 80% of FTP. Antoine Rodriguez, I'm doing is 8 weeks because we want to have some time to adjust. Your body takes time to adjust, and 8 weeks would be a good time. Gerry de Bruin. What do you use as the benchmark to compare a previous period to when you're done with this sweet spot program? Yes, I did an insight protocol test last week. Okay. So we gathered data about my energy systems. We know my VO2 max. We know my VLA max. We know my carb max, my fat max. What else do we know? It had an approximation of FTP, but I was not super fresh during the test, so it was a little off. Which you can only know by interpretation and knowing the context of the test. So we're gonna do the same test in 8 weeks and then try to compare. No spin faster, spin slower. You wanna know if I try Martin? Martin sends me their products once in a while. Yes, I tried it, it's awesome. It's freaking rocket fuel, man. It's expensive, but it's very nice. I really like it. Arne, when you start the VO2 max training, will your sprint values go up again, or will they stay very low the first couple of weeks after lowering VLA max? I don't know. We'll find out. No, I'm not doing the road races anymore, the top competition. I simply do not have the time, man. It's too with the family and the job and the YouTube channel. It's too much. I do a lot of fasted riding without food. I would say at least 70% of my training sessions are fasted. And this is the crazy thing, because one of the things to lower VLA max is riding with a low amount of carbohydrates. If I'm fasted, I'm super low. Still, it didn't have a lot of result, or my strength training of the last couple of weeks just boosted my VLA Max so much that it, you know, it just went straight, diminished my results. I don't know. We will be adapting nutrition during training as from next week. So coming week will still be just easy, just some different training sessions, and then after that we'll start adjusting food and cadence. I'm already on the cadence a little bit, but if you want to know what VLA Max is, I explained halfway this live stream, after about an hour. So go back to where I just finished the testing of my power meters, and that's when I explained VLA Max. That's it, ALP. Overall fitness, man. You need to go to the gym. Do freaking strength training, high intensity, definitely high weights. Heavy weightlifting is what will get you strong. As a man, you want to be strong. The general cyclist is just a freaking, is a twig, man. You can break him so easy. So go to the gym, get some strength. That's what general fitness is, in my opinion. So I don't know how many pull-ups I can do now. And I want to start bragging right now, which is funny, because I'm going to tell you how I did my pull-ups a couple of years ago, but I'm nowhere near capable of doing that now. Okay, so it's not now, but it's a couple of years ago. I did pull-ups with the backpack, with 45 kilos in the backpack, and I did pull-ups like 5 or 6, yeah, to get strong. Now I can do like 10, 15 pull-ups, body weight, that's it. I used to train a lot of strength. Back in the days when I was doing, you know, after my BMX racing still, I did a lot of strength training. I really enjoy lifting heavy weight. Just picking up 150 kilos off the ground is awesome, alright? Seeing the bar bend before you pick it up, boom! That's what I enjoy, but it doesn't, I had to quit it because what I just explained, my VLA Max was way too high. And this is way back in 2017 when I started training for those long races, for those for the road races in the Netherlands. I pretty much stopped my strength training. Back then I was super strong. I stopped it completely, and until now I tried to restart my strength training twice, and it's really hard to get back on that same power and same weights, because my body needs so long to adjust to be able to push hard and not have so much soreness the next day that I cannot get on the bike, which is then a problem in my cycling training. So I had to take it really easy for a long time to slowly get back into its strength training. It's raining outside the whole time, so that's why I'm inside, because when I go outside afterwards I have to clean the bike. It takes me a lot of time, and I don't like riding in the rain. Hapje? Great question about cutting weight. So, Mr. Eisenhower wants to know if I consider cutting weight. Currently I'm about 82, 83 kilos, right? Okay. I'm very heavy for a road cyclist. I know. But at my heaviest I was 89 kilos. Pure freaking muscle, alright? Back in 2008. 2008. That's 12 years ago. What? I was about 89, 88 kilos in the winter. I trained a lot of strength, 5 times a week in the gym. From that time till now, I've lost 6 kilos and I'm trying to reduce my weight more. It's not happening. I have not done strength training, proper strength training for 3 years. Like little bits and pieces. But I'm not losing the weight, alright? I'm not losing the weight. I'm 1 meter 85, 86. And they say that like low intensity, slow endurance training is diminishing your muscles or whatever. Not for me. So I think it's probably has to do something with body type. All right. I also think that because I've been intermittent fasting for the last 5 years, and this gives such a great boost to your growth hormone. This might be the reason why I'm staying relatively big. I don't know. It could be because I have not done a single bicep curl for 5 years. All right, not one. What's my diet like? A lot of carbs, a lot of protein, a lot of fat. I eat everything. A lot of vegetables, a lot of oatmeal, a lot of rice. Yeah, that's it. Lance Armstrong lost weight after his chemo, and then he got a really strong cyclist. I'm not saying I want to have a chemo. Hell no, but I don't see another way. So guys, if you just tuned in, I know this is a bit of a long stream, and if you want to take the information that you're looking for, it might be a search. So go about 1 hour into the stream, because then I finish my testing part, where I test and compare my power meters. And then I'll explain what the difference is between VO2 max and FTP and VLA max, and how it works together to produce your power. So guys, we've got 151 watching and only 62 likes. Now, if you have learned anything in this live stream, hit the like button on YouTube, okay? Please. I can see if you learned anything or not. If you had any new information, if you think it's interesting what I just told you guys, just hit the like button, drop me a comment. Because if nobody's replying or liking this, how do I know? By the way, if you subscribe to my channel, there's gonna be a pop-up right there. And it's gonna like show your name. There's a avatar dancing. It's kind of funny. If you want to see that, you should click subscribe. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, man. I don't eat a lot of sugars. Only right after my training sessions. I do a lot of fasted riding, so I'm burning fat in a low zone. I don't do that many cheat meals. I do eat a lot of chocolate. I like chocolate. So what are your plans for the Fuji now you have it back home? I'm riding it a lot. Check out my Instagram, because I'm posting a lot of pictures and stories on my Instagram every day. Riding the Fuji. I actually use it to ride with my kids. So I have the two-wheel chariot behind the Fuji. It didn't fit on the Aeroad, on the frame, but it does fit on the Fuji. So I actually use it as a training horse at the moment, since there's no racing. So I just use it because I've got the Aeroad here on the indoor trainer, and this way I can, I use both the bikes. For it's way easier than to switch on and off the trainer every time and carrying my bike upstairs. You can get me to 70 kilos ripped. Good luck, man. Never. If you can, send me a private message and tell me how. I think it's impossible. Only my legs weigh about 70 kilos, so hey, we have a super chat. Thank you. We got $10 from Mitch Callahan. My boy Mitch just gave me $10 in the super chat. I really appreciate that, so thank you very much for the support. He says, thanks for the interest, for the insights, Jasper. Dude, I'm very, very welcome. You are very, very welcome. Still gonna be here for a while. I do agree on not trying to lower your food intake and increase your training load. That's not very smart. because now you're stressing your body in two ways. Yeah, and it's gonna get overloaded. So you can decrease your food intake off season when you're not focused that much on specific training. But during on season and racing, definitely stay on the point, on the ball with your food. So if you ride a lot long rides in zone 2, it automatically makes your VLA Max low. No, it doesn't. You actually have to do more sweet spot at a low cadence. So you should not do very low intensity either. Because for example, you do a lot of hours very low intensity and you do a little bit of sprint training, your VLA Max is still not going to drop, right? What you want to do actually is take your type 2 muscle fibers and push them in a direction that you want. And to activate those muscle cells, you need to ask a certain amount of intensity from your body, which is more than zone 2, but less than your FTP. So you should actually do a lot of that middle zone, which is opposite to the polarized model. And actually I've done this a lot last year when I was training for the Taiwan KOM. I don't know if you guys have seen that video. It is freaking awesome! I did a lot of long hours and a lot of sweet spot intervals. And man, my power on those 4 hours up the hill in Taiwan was big, alright? And I never did this test, so I don't know what my VLA Max was in that time, but I'm pretty sure it was relatively low to what I'm doing now. My FTP was very high. My aerobic endurance was very, very good. So it's a combination. Will increasing my weight increase my FTP as well? No, because if you increase your fat mass, your FTP will stay the same. It will actually reduce your watt per kilo. Whatever Looney said, that's pretty much what I'm doing. But whatever works for me doesn't mean it works for you, alright? But try, give it a try. Try it for 3 months. See what works. Low RPM can be good for strength training, but it depends, or power, what you say. It's more strength, it's not power. That's not the same. Because increasing your power can also be done at very high cadence. So Sven de Klerk, what he says is pretty much spot on, right? If you have no sprint, yeah, if you have no acceleration in the criterion, if you're sprinting and you're always losing, no matter if you're fresh or tired, but if you are able to do relatively high efforts over and over again, your VLA max is very low. Your body is simply not able to produce a lot of energy on a high intensity in that anaerobic zone. Your body just cannot burn enough carbohydrates fast enough anaerobically to produce that energy, which can be beneficial if you're a time trialist or a triathlon or a long road racer. What's up, Niels? Do you spend much time in the gym lifting weights? I used to do that in the past. I have not done it a lot for multiple years, and I've restarted about when the second baby arrived, so about January. I have a small squat rack here at home with low weights, only like 40 kilos, which is for me super low, okay? So I restarted strength training on a very easy pace, 2 times a week, not that heavy. That's what I've been doing, and it might have raised my VLA max exponentially. Now we've done a test, and now we want to decrease it again. Meaning, basically my coach told me yesterday I'm not allowed to do any strength training anymore. Too bad. Ah, okay. Ben Buzz. Recovery is dependent on multiple factors. Very important is actually really obvious things like sleep and nutrition, okay? Nutrition after your hard session is super important. Hydrate, restock your glycogen, so carbohydrates, then eat some protein. Have a good sleep. Don't stress your muscles when you try to recover. As part for training, having a very strong aerobic system will increase your recovery. So, you know, those base miles that everybody talks about are very important. That's your base that you're building up your training. If you don't do a base, you do not have the ability to recover and to fall back on during the season. So if you have the idea that you're not recovering enough in between training sessions, you're either doing too many high intensity sessions a week, or you just totally go back to square one. Start training from your base. Thank you, Sven. Don't forget, drop me a like, maybe share this stream with your buddies. Did you get a chance to try Veloton yet? What is Veloton? I'm not sure what this is. Yeah, the Taiwan KOM challenge was really cool to do. Definitely awesome. I recently broke my collarbone in an accident. I was on the bike and someone drive straight in me. I can finally ride my bike again. Wow. I feel bad for you, man. I'm glad you are back on the bike. Yeah, I have actually, you know what I did every morning? I took my heart rate and I had this sleep app. So I put my phone on my mattress and it would register my sleep. And I was totally into it, looking at how much I slept every week, and obviously because I was traveling a lot and all these jet lags and lack of sleep, and I could sort of monitor how much I was sleeping every week, but it never really, I think it never really got me any valuable info. I don't know. I just used it, but I never really think I saw the real benefit. Do you know why pushing hard numbers is easier with tailwind or a high speed? Oh, I think it's easier with a headwind. To push high wattage into a wind, I think it's easier, but I don't know. I can't imagine if you have a tailwind and high speed, your momentum is very high. So it's easier to keep a cadence and keep rhythm. How do you balance family and passion for cycling? Yeah, it's really difficult. Don't think I'm living the perfect life, all right? I have discussions about this frequently at home, and it's difficult to combine everything. I think the Thule Chariot, that's that little go-kart behind my bike that I can put the kids in while I train, helps me, because I can take the kids for 2 hours and you know, they're away from mom, so mommy can do some other stuff and I can still train. And but yeah, it's hard. Did you guys all see my Fuji bike video? I'm thinking about doing the same with my Canyon. So I'm thinking about doing like a video about my Canyon, what I changed about the Canyon in the last few years. I've ridden almost 35,000 kilometers on the Canyon, on the Aeroad. So I think it would be a pretty good video. Let me know what you think. Jeff, loved my Fuji video. Thank you. My main bike outside is the Fuji. And the Canyon is here on the trainer. Because I can put the chariot behind the Canyon. The Fuji, sorry. So just for your information, right now I'm on the Pioneer Powermeter on the head unit, comparing it to my kicker, which is shown on the screen, and it's both exactly 250 watts. So that's interesting. So 250 is 250. Yeah man, they sent me a new seat post for a Canyon. It took them 3 months for a new seat post. So, I cannot imagine an entire bike. Yo, Mark Matthew, just check my video, man. The last ride in California video. Just before I did the Fuji rebuild video. That video will show you how I took the bike home. Hey. Yo, Luke. So you got some new wheels for your own Fuji? Where did you get the wheels? At Spark? I am using ERG mode, man. Fabian, I am using ERG mode. Nog 20 minuten.
20?
25. Ja, het duurt dan heel lang, het ging helemaal fout.
Oh.
Gewoon verhaal. Is het gelukt?
Ja. Je moest gewoon in de rij om de auto dicht kunnen smoken.
Nee. No, but maybe you had power smoothing on your kicker settings. I just switched that off. And when you turn power smoothing on, it just shows you one number, which is fake. This is the actual number that I'm pushing. So if you are using a kicker and it has one straight line, then you're not seeing what you're doing. It's propaganda from Kicker. From WAHOO, sorry. Yo, Anton, you need to go back in the stream. After I did my power comparison testing, about halfway the stream is when I explain my program. The low cadence is to reduce VLA Max. Anything you do to increase, okay, so if you want to decrease VLA Max, you should not do anything that will increase it. That's basically it. So spinning at a high cadence can increase your VLA Max. So that's why I'm spinning at a low cadence. Yes, I should have said that to Niels, but I actually thought it would be beneficial to repeat it to everybody. Let me just explain in general. I've done some testing and now know my VO2 max and VLA max. Combine these two, you will get your FTP. VLA Max indeed is the maximum amount of lactate you can produce in your body, millimole of lactate per minute. If your VLA Max is very high, you're able to produce a lot of anaerobic energy. if your VLA max is high, whether you are exercising at a high or a low intensity, there will always be a big amount anaerobic. If you want to have a very high FTP, the best combination will be a high VO2 max and a low VLA max. If you want to have a very strong sprint, you will need a very high VLA max. Now, here's the point. It's all about finding a balance. Out of my test results, it shows my VLA max is very high. 0.75, something like that. For a road cyclist, it's probably better to have it around 0.5, 0.6. So, decreasing my VLA max to that number is gonna greatly increase my FTP without changing my VO2 max.
Kijk maar even.
Hey, wie is dit?
Zoals dit of zo.
Kijk, wat is dit? Papa fietsen? Papa fietsen?
Fiets?
Well, start the show. Sam, hey, het waait hier, hè? Kijk, papa zo fietsen, hè?
Ik leg even snel licht beneden, ja?
Oké. Nou, dat is buiten. Kijk, dit zijn allemaal mensen. Say hi to Sam. Hallo! Zwaaien! Hallo! Oeh, cool, hè? Ja, pizza! Pizza, hè? Pizza. Wil je eten? Hier. Pinka. Goed zo. Zo. Goed een beetje. Hou maar vast. Hou maar vast. Ja. Klaar? Oké. Niet vallen, hè?
Zit je lekker daar? Ga je mee? Ga je mee?
Heb je?
Nee, nog niet. Ga je mee zo?
Wow! Protest!
Dag papa! Dag papa! Ga je zwaaien?
Doe iets aan.
Mooi zwaaien.
Kusje? Mwah. Ja, lekker.
Ja, beneden.
Doei. Well, that's how I try to combine cycling and family. Fla. I think my stream just dropped out or not. Something happened. Ja, zo'n groeit eigenlijk helemaal niet zo hard, maar hij zou wel iets harder mogen groeien. Oké. So I'm constantly at this low RPM, but it's driving me crazy. So let's try and do a little bit higher now. Een berg. Nog een berg. So I'm almost done with the training, guys. Wilde bouwen. Wilde bouwen. Wouwen. Wouwen bouwen. Okay, Sven, good luck, man. Enjoy the training. I don't know if it's bad for your knees. I'm not like super low right now, huh? And it's also not that you should be doing all your training all the time at low cadence, but thanks, Mr. Grillinch 23. Thank you. I did see your comment before. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. See you later, man. I think your body will adjust to it as well. So you'll actually get used to the low cadence. Right now I'm doing it for all time, and actually if I don't pay attention, my body wants to drop it even lower. Yeah, it does feel strange. It feels strange for me as well. Normally I'm really high, but we're gonna do about 12 hours of training per week, coming 8 weeks. So about 5 times a week, 12 hours. Yeah, I used to train between 10 to 15 hours always, even when I was working. However, then I used to do a lot of hours when I was away overseas. But yeah, she's okay with it. We make a planning. I pretty much spend my time on the bike. Alright guys, this is it. I'm going to dinner. Thank you for watching. And I'll keep you guys up to date. I'm gonna do a video about like the effects of this training. My entire 8-week program. And I'm gonna, you know, get you guys up to date. I'm also working on a video from Death Valley from before I was, when I still had the Fuji in the United States. Really cool video, so that's coming up as well. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you learned something today. Don't forget, drop me a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so you get a notification when I go live, so you don't miss the beginning of the stream. Thank you guys. See you later. Let me just show you my look. This is all the testing crap what I did. I started, I had to do it again, and then this is the actual training. So this was my tempo zones, and then at the low cadence. Here's my cadence, pretty low, yeah. Critical power, not very interesting. How many pizzas did I burn? 5.7 slices, that's pretty good. Gonna have some pizza now. Thank you. Boom.